Right? It is. Hopefully I'm good to go, right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's at 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles. And it is Wednesday, April 2nd, AD 2025. Oh, that's what happens. That's funny.
I do that to fix the resolution thing.
Yeah. HDMI 1 has been connected. I see that at the beginning of the, when I start streaming, interestingly enough. But anyway, yeah, because of, I guess, that thing.
It's connected to that as well.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? How you doing? It's 2025 AD, Wednesday, April 2nd. And we're going to have a fun loosey-goosey, the Hake Report show. Lots of news. Val Kilmer died. Aw. At the tender age of 65 little years old. That is quite young. And I know that, I don't know how he got that thing that, where he couldn't even speak. It was crazy. And I think he was, like, the AI voiced him for some movie, maybe, I don't know. Oh yeah, for like that one Top Gun movie again, the sequel. Rest in peace to Val Kilmer. I'm live on punchy.tv/Hake. I'm live on Facebook, I presume. Yep, and of course YouTube. What's up, guys? Hake gonna pretend he cares about Val Kilmer. It was a shock to hear that he died so young. That's crazy. Thank you, JLP, rating the stream over on the Rumble crew. Val Kilmer was a Hollywood liberal, so claims this person who I thought let me go ahead and you're not welcome here. Marcus Jones banned. Anyway, yeah, rest in peace. I like liberals, by the way. Please. Just because they're dumb liberals doesn't mean that I don't like them. I've been thinking about having well, let me not say that, but I like Stardust. I like, who's that guy who comes on all the time, talks about Ukraine? He came out with a documentary recently. Dylan Burns, who was on The Fallen State. He hosted me on the Hippy Dippy Roundtable. Val Kilmer. I just knew him by his lips because he had these unique lips in Batman Forever, I guess. And I just lumped Batman Forever with those other lame Batman movies from the mid to late 90s with that guy who turned it all like colorful and corny and these ridiculous actors playing Batman. They're okay actors for what they are, but not for Batman. Come on. Bring back the short guy. The short guy with the remarkable eyebrows. I want you to tell your friends about me. That one. And probably my favorite Batman was the cartoon one. That guy died too. He died too. The one with the deep, dark voice. Lin Yan Chin knows him. Batman the Animated Series guy. Well, whatever. I don't know what killed Val Kilmer. Maybe he had like throat cancer or something crazy. Whew. Don't know. Maybe we'll find out. Maybe we will find out. But there's actually remarkable stuff going on in the world. It's a replacement of the white man. I had a call yesterday with an old friend, I guess you could call him, talking about, oh, Hake, why are you such a racist lowlife? And we have a good rapport, I suppose. I actually enjoyed talking with him this time, whereas I don't remember enjoying talking with Dr. Detroit in the past. But they're trying to replace the white man with the black woman. This caller thinks that I have a problem with black men. No, I have a problem with black women. Shout out, black ladies. shout out. But the black ladies, they don't know, but they think they know. And they speak so boldly and confidently that you halfway think that maybe they do know. No, but it doesn't make any sense what they're saying, so they don't know. But they're putting one such black lady, Harriet Tubman. I have no idea what Harriet Tubman was like, really. Except that the only thing I know Harriet Tubman is the Underground Railroad, which I mockingly described as human trafficking when they helped runaway slaves escape from slavery and go to the North, which I described as aiding and abetting in theft and disorderly escape from being property, being owned. You are owned, and you did not purchase your freedom properly, and you're not going about things in the orderly and civilized way, so we need to make a police force to catch these slaves. And then we can free them the proper way. We go about things in the proper way, or we go all-out war, and I don't like that. Which is worse, war, the Civil War, or slavery? Do you need to compare? I think that the Civil War was maybe worse than all of slavery, because it resulted in the immediate, over the course of several years, or at least a few years, death of more than 500,000 Americans, and destruction as well. So I think that's worse than slavery. I think so. But they want to pretend like it was a good thing. It wasn't a good thing. Anyway, so they're replacing the long story short, they're trying to replace, and they're probably going to do it, the most common and valuable item of the American money, fiat money, the $20 bill. They're replacing the great nationalist, I think, Andrew Jackson, some woman is, with Harriet Tubman. You probably heard about this some years back. Well, some senatoress woman is yapping about it still. Yeah, the Civil War is worse than slavery. Immediate death. Slavery didn't immediately result in death, and sometimes it was suffering, and you could call it wrong. You could call it not ideal. Freedom is better than slavery, I think. Physical freedom, better than physical slavery. But war? No. Come on. That's not right. That's not right. Yeah, so Andrew Jackson, who expanded America, who made America great, a president, replaces some black gal who's basically only famous because of liberal communist propaganda, honestly, if you think about it. Because the commies were ones cheering on the Civil War, because they like violence. They prefer violence to having to work for a living. Degenerates. I shake my head. So, Andrew Jackson, or what's that gal's name? Harriet Tubman. Choose your fighter. Terrible. I will be taking your calls. Some of you guys are already on hold. I will be also reading your super chats. This is a somber episode because of the passing of Val Kilmer. What a cool name, by the way. And I didn't know, really. He did such a good job. He's probably one of my favorite acting remarkable acting displays that I've ever seen was Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday. And I'd seen this movie. What is it? Is it Tombstone? Do you happen to know? Yeah. Thank you, Anchor Baby.
I have only begun to defile myself.
He was so good. And I watched the whole thing one time without knowing it was him. And then I watched much of it, maybe again. And then later, maybe during it or after or right before, I found out that's Val Kilmer. And his lip is still there. You know, his top lip is kind of like, it's not there anymore because he died, rest in peace. But it's kind of like slanted up. And it's, I don't know, it's unique for some odd reason. It is so good. So kids, it's a rough movie. It's probably kind of degenerate, but if you ever watch it, and I hype it, of course, don't listen to hype. Don't listen to hype. Don't get your hopes up. And then you'll be able to deal with it if it's not meeting to your expectations. But I don't think that there's any other actor who ever, I thoroughly enjoyed watching as much as him as that. And there's some actors who are just fun to watch. And maybe even some actresses. They're just mainly just either pretty or kind of like remarkably evil, like fascinating in that way. Are actresses as good of actors as actors are? Anyway, whatever. Nice. Favorite acting performance? Because I don't really notice acting performance because I only watch good movies unless it's like bad movie and then it's bad acting. But there's whoa, I didn't know this. The acting, watching somebody act could be actually fun. Just fun to watch. So shout out to whoever made that happen. He was only part of it, of course. You had to have good lines and stuff, you know. So good job, people who made that movie. All right, we are well into the hour. Why am I not hearing anything? Here, let me turn this up. Okay. Oh yeah, it's going. Okay. So we're gonna get started here, guys. Sooner or later, one day or another, we're gonna get going. Anyway, guys, let's just get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how you guys doing? I'm fine. Isn't the Goodyear blimp fun to look at? Another fun thing from the 80s, 90s, and to this day, I guess. So cool. I'm wearing a nice shirt. You can just call me a blue-collar worker. That's what I used to think that meant. Like, blue-collar, because you wear a blue shirt that has a blue collar. And what's funny is I always kind of romanticize being a working man, so-called. Anyway, oh, I forgot to do a little timestamp for my Hey Guys thing, so you have to find it yourself. I suppose I could just subtract a minute. Anyway, oh no, wait, yeah? Okay, probably that. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Okay, somebody in the chat said something like, oh, Harvey Dent was in it. Have you seen Who's Afraid of the Virginia Wolf? That's a fun acting movie, says Carver. Well, I disavow that. I thought you were going to name an actress or an actor. Goodyear blimp is greater than female actresses per Hake. Yeah, stolen valor, pretending like I'm a working man. I remember I wore my cabinet shop T-shirt to a concert. I went and watched some popular indie rock band with this gal. I wasn't into her, but we went to we used to go to concerts a lot, and there was this black dude sitting behind us. He's like, "What's that?" "Oh, it's my job." "Oh, working man." Yep, indeed. Okay, I want to get to some calls though, everybody, before we get too far. DEMETRI in Estonia. I've heard of Estonia. DEMETRI, am I pronouncing your name correctly? First time caller, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah, you're pronouncing it right. Hi, Hake. How are you doing?
Doing well, man. Thank you.
So I have this situation. I wanted to call Jesse, but it happened that I called you. So it's the God's will, I guess.
Nice. And it's wait, how do you pronounce your name?
DEMETRI. But,
okay.
In Estonia, it is for Estonians hard to pronounce DM simultaneously, so they say DEMETRI.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice.
But it doesn't matter for me. It's just a name.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Thank you. But about the situation which I have, I've been consulting with Jesse and my woman. So we had this Skype talk together, and we saw you. You were helping Jesse also there.
Oh, yeah.
To connect us together.
Right.
And then we talked with Jesse, and Jesse suggested to postpone our marriage. So we did that because I wasn't financially ready. So then, like, things got going, and happened that I called Jesse again. There was a situation with my woman, and Jesse said, like, that he suggests to postpone the second time.
Okay.
So I didn't say anything to my woman. I was just like, just watching, just like not to expect anything, just seeing the situation how it is. And at some point, I just saw that we are not ready because she and I we are full of evil together with her. And I was like, if we marry, it's gonna be hell because, well, when I postponed the second time, and because there was a situation and with her, and I said, like, we are not ready. I see that clearly.
That's awesome, man.
Like, yeah, but all hell got loose.
But she should love you for that. Little does she realize, or maybe she will realize.
Maybe.
Just
but yeah.
Just like you're not attached to your name, you're not attached to the idea, at least immediately anyway, of marrying this girl, and that's a good thing, man. Because then
I know.
Because otherwise you're making her or the idea of getting married to her an idol, and the idols crumble and it'll be a mess. So that's good.
It will be a mess. Yeah. But the thing is, when all hell got loose from her, and I was like, I'm not trying, but I pray every day, every night, at work sometimes when I go to the bathroom. Like, it's a good suggestion to go for 5 minutes. You just sit there and you just pray. And it's quiet. Nobody gets in. And yeah, through the day, it helps a lot to see things, what are going through your mind and what the devil puts in your mind, which is very nice to see. And the thing is that when I postpone it, she started basically, I don't know, like spiritually attacking me. I don't know. It just looks like it, because she was like, why do I need to listen to you? Like, but like we want to get married. Like, you know, that there is an order of God, and if I say I don't wish you anything evil upon your life, and she was like, I don't know. If I see that something you say is logical, and I was like, how? Like, you know that women are not logical.
Right.
But, I mean, like, we watch together, Jesse, so we know, but still, sometimes when she listens to Jesse, she takes some parts of what he says. Maybe, I don't know, but maybe it's for me also to get rid of the evil inside of me when she does not listen to me. But
yeah, it's a good opportunity for you to
die from
yeah,
things inside of me. Yeah,
for you to be
I also,
unmoved and
yeah,
love her anyway. Meaning,
not
don't be
hating her.
yeah,
I know.
meaning don't be moved by it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I see that, but I mean, lately, like, I mean, like, there is a lot of storm going around me, and I see the devil. I see what he's doing, and there was also one thing that when I postponed the marriage, we also, I don't know why this happened, but we were unconscious, and we did the S thing.
Oh yeah. Right.
Yeah, and I saw clearly that it's, I mean, like, after that, it's like I was seeing that, I see why it's only making the babies. I was
Nice.
like, yeah, and I was like, I apologized towards her, like, you know, it was wrong, and this is not how a man should act upon a woman. It's evil.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, like, things are going, but from time to time, I mean, she's not listening to me if I suggest something,
Yeah.
because I'm not forcing her to do anything.
Nice.
And yeah, but I mean, like, the devil inside of me is basically, she's not listening to you. Why should you marry her? Like, she's not obeying you. And I'm like, well, and I'm sitting there and listen and watching the devil going upon me, and I'm like, yeah. And I just don't know what, I mean, like, I know what to do. I know what to do. I know where to go, but this retard devil tries to make me do retard decisions. And how do I I mean, like, not do those things? I mean, like, from time to time, I do get unconscious, especially when I'm with her, from time to time.
Yeah.
And she gets unconscious from time to time, but we try to watch what is happening. Especially, I also told her, like, I don't want to marry you because you're also smoking. I don't want a wife who smokes, because it's not good for the family. It's not good for the children. It's if there is one thing that controls you, like, how can you be free? Like, actually be free.
Right.
Yeah, and basically,
that's fair.
Yeah, and she said, then we're not gonna marry. And from time to time, she throws those randomly sentences that, okay, like, I gonna marry another guy, like, and you gonna marry another woman. I'm like, what does it have to do right now? Like, we live in this moment right now. Why you talk about random people
Right.
you're gonna marry?
Yeah.
Yeah. And those things happen constantly. And this started happening after I postponed second time the
Okay.
marriage.
Nice.
Yeah. So how do I handle this all? Like, I mean, like I act upon her lovingly. If she does something wrong, I tell her like, no, this is not how things go. But yeah, as Jesse suggested, not to break up with her, because I don't see point breaking up right now. It's like we're working on ourselves, but at the same time, the truth from her is also spilled. I don't know. God makes her talk a lot.
You said God makes her talk a lot?
Well, when she told me, like, I tried my hard to listen to you, like, to obey you. I'm like, you should not try to do that. Like, you just see why it is like this. And she was like, I was trying my best to, like, listen to you, and I was not obeying you, and I was obeying you, but I tried my best. Because she had an idea that we're gonna marry, so she was trying
Right.
to be to obey. But I was telling, but don't you see that this is all evil? You were pretending to be someone else.
Because she wanted to get married. She thought that she wanted to get married, so she was forcing herself to go along and obey. Because not because it's right, but because she thinks that she wants this marriage thing with you. That's interesting. Are you living together, out of curiosity, if you don't mind my asking?
No, when I first time called Jesse and found out about him, I told her, like, we need to live in separate, like, places.
Cool.
Because that's the right way. So she ran it out, and already for a whole year we live separately. But from time to time we date. We go on a dates. We go at her place. We have dinner, or at my place we have dinner.
Okay.
Or we go somewhere out. But yeah, I mean, when we get out, it's like also the devil is all the time, like around. It is awful. I mean, like you cannot like control it, but it does things, and you kind of see, you kind of are like a passenger of your body, and you know it is wrong,
right?
But the body still does it, and you're like, why? And after you do this, and like, why? I want to go after God. I don't want this.
Yeah, that's funny, man. Well, so are you asking advice as to where to go from there?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say keep doing what you're doing. It sounds like what you're doing in terms of not marrying her is right at this point. Ride out the hell in you. And you don't see a reason to break up with her, even though you do see all this hell in her, and you do see that she doesn't want to, and you see all this hell in you reacting to the hell in her, and she doesn't want to obey, and she wants to get married, and she wants to do this and that, and she's acting all crazy.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you don't see that you should break up with her. I don't see that you should break up with her because I'm not in the situation either. But you definitely shouldn't marry her, at least not at this time.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling you.
Not with all this pressure.
There is. Yeah.
What's the harm in taking time apart? I'm not saying that that's what you should do, but what would be the harm in not even seeing her for a while?
What do you mean, like not?
Because you guys are you guys are dating, and every time you guys go on a date, it sounds like all too commonly, sparks fly, hell flies.
Oh, yeah. But from time to time, because we work a lot, I do work, she works, because she needs to earn for her bread, and I'm earning for mine. Like, from time we don't see each other, like 2 weeks, maybe 1 week.
Okay.
It depends, yeah.
But even after 2 weeks or so, it's not like you guys are coming together in peace.
Oh, yeah. But it's like, yeah, but from time to time there is peace, and when we get together, there is no peace. I mean, like
Right.
this devil coming in between and does evil things.
You're not
Yeah.
you're not obligated to her. She's not obligated to you because you're not married. And thank God that you're
Yeah.
not married. It's good for you, it's good for her at this time, it sounds like, that you're not married because it would just be out of a false need that you would be married, a false want that she has, and it doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like you're tempted even at this time to be married until you are darn ready. I heard Anchor Baby months ago, maybe a year or two ago, say, ladies, men will marry you when they're darn ready. He didn't say darn,
Yeah.
but I think he's right about that. Men know a little bit better, especially if they don't listen to the woman as to when to marry or if to marry or whatever.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that she should calm down and trust your judgment. And if she doesn't want to calm down and trust your judgment, then there's your answer, at least for the time being.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, I agree. But we are engaged. I proposed to her, and it was like 2 years
Engaged,
ago.
but engaged is no promise. The only promise is when you marry. Honestly,
Yeah.
engaged just means that you had that you saw fit to marry her, you suppose, and you're like, okay, let's get married, but you're not married yet, so it's no promise at all.
Yeah, but I have a question
Uh-huh.
because my lady right now, she also like says like, why do I need to listen to you if we are not married? And we
She
are
doesn't.
only but I tell her like, but we are engaged.
Right.
Like it's already that we want to get married, so we need to do the order of God right now and to see if it works or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
And she's
that's the real test, is if she's giving an indication that she's not willing to listen to you. Only in marriage is she magically somehow going to change her evil heart and start listening to you. That's not true.
that's not truth. Yeah. That's why I told you, like, the God made her spill the peace when she started talking. Like, I don't know why.
Right.
From time to time, she tells me things like when she did something, like, and I like from like I don't know, like, because Jesse said like men have their own business, women have their own business. Like, but if something happened, God will make you see things clearly. And like Russians also say, like, God is so powerful that he will make also the devil do his will if needed.
That's funny. That's interesting. I didn't know that the Russians said that. Somebody wanted me to know what you think of Russia, by the way.
I am Russian-speaking Estonian, so for me, I mean, like, for me, everyone is a human being. Like, I don't judge by the nations, but lately, our media is going in Europe very against Russia, and all the time they talk about war. We need to prepare for war, and I'm like, what the, like.
Yeah.
And we are such a small country, but our country tries to bark the loudest.
That's funny, like a chihuahua.
Yeah, like a chihuahua.
Terrible.
It's amazing.
Like my caller friend yesterday. I had a caller whom I compared to a chihuahua because he was barking.
Yeah. Maybe if you read the news, our European Parliament diplomacy woman, Kaja Kallas, like, she came to America and she was like trying to teach the Trump's administration like how to do things. I was like, oh no. Because
what was her
Europe
name?
Is Kaja Kallas.
Oh, I looked up the wrong name. Go ahead.
Yeah, Kaja space Kallas.
Okay, Vice President of the EU, and she's Estonian, you're saying?
Yeah,
Wow.
she was our prime minister, and she ruined the country.
Whoa.
Yeah, now she's ruining Europe.
That's terrible. That's
terrible.
and then she was trying to tell, oh, she's cute. She's trying to tell, does your fiance look like this?
No. Thank God.
You said thank God. That's funny. I thought she was all right looking. She's kind of cute. But anyway, she's evil. Interesting,
she
man.
is. Yeah.
Trying to tell Trump what to do, according to you.
But she came, first time she came, she wanted to visit Trump, but she got, not postponed, but they said, like, they don't have time. Trump's administration said they don't have time to take her in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
As Trump was talking to Zelensky. And then, now she came to the administration and was telling how to do the things right. Like, yeah.
Wow.
But, I mean, like, it is interesting to read about this all, what is happening in Europe, and how everyone is like, oh, no, Trump is doing evil things. In Europe, they say that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. People don't know what they're talking about. Truly.
They don't know. Yeah. But, yeah. But, about the engagement, yeah.
Yeah.
I asked you about that. It is not a promise, but we look how we are working together. If it works, it works. If it's not, then not. And I don't know why, but as she told me, she gets very easily influenced by, like, everything.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what I meant. Why God makes her spill the peace, because she openly tells me all those things, like, and I'm like, oh no.
She tells you all of her problematic behavior and ideas.
Yeah, but I mean, like, overall, before God, we were very evil, very crazy. We were insane. But with God, we going the right direction right now. But, I mean, like, I don't know. I'm not trying to convince her or anything to listen to me.
Good.
And I cannot make her see that why is it the right way. So, I mean, like, I don't see the point right now also to break up, because...
That's fair.
I mean, because I like to spend time with her. Like, it is very nice, but from time to time the hell comes out.
Mm-hmm.
But just knowing that we work together right now, as in doing silent prayers, like watching ourselves, what is happening inside of us. Yeah.
Well, I feel like the only reason you like spending time with her is because it feels nice to the ego.
Maybe, but I don't know.
I'm not saying it's a reason to break up or I'm not saying to do anything. It's just my impression based on like my own experience and knowing guys.
Yeah, probably also that.
Like you're basically like you want to keep her around and use her for some little bit of ego feeling, and she doesn't mind because she wants to use you, and she's hoping to hook you and marry you. And
yeah, that's why I was telling her that we are full of evilness.
Yeah,
because I was noticing those things in me, but I was watching it and like not to say trying, but like going after the good thing, because like I know how much, like, not like profit, but how much not nurturing even, but how flourishing it is for the spirit to go after God. and I was living a very miserable life before that. I was like, I told my lady, like, I don't want to go back to that life.
Right.
I like how it was very funny how I said like I pressure my life, like, because that life is not good. It only will kill me, and I'm not going back there.
Nice.
And yeah, and after that, she suggested to me, like, why I told you the hell was breaking loose. She was suggesting me to break up. She was like, I think it's a good idea that we break up. I was like, I don't see a point right now breaking up. But if you really want to break up, the door is open.
Nice.
Yeah, but
it seems like women are quicker to break up than men, actually.
Yeah, but she told me after, because she said that day that she wanted to break up, and I said, like, you just gonna get thrills from it, because she told me also, like, she had an idea after we break up, she would go home and listen to sad songs.
Right.
I was like, what the, like, woman.
Well, that's
in
interesting,
one moment,
man.
like, yeah, yesterday she also, like, I think we need to break up, and I just said, okay, like, okay, and nothing more, nothing else. And she's like, no, but actually, I don't know.
Well, it's her choice.
Yeah, but I mean, so many times, like, I mean, like, she said, like, I don't know. First, she suggested to break up. I said, okay. Then she said, like, I don't know. And she wants to stay. And I'm like, I asked her openly, are you playing games with me? She was like, I don't know. And she was like, I honestly don't know.
Right. What's funny is she doesn't know it, but she's telling you that she's not the one to marry at this time. She may not be the one to marry ever, because she's being she's ready to go at the first sign of trouble.
Yeah, that's what I
and it's
also
not even
thought
really
that.
a sign of trouble that you're not marrying her at this time. If she were really the one, she would be there.
She would say,
100%.
yeah, she would say, okay.
She would still like just be grateful to be around you instead of being like, we got to break up. So
Yeah.
she's proven that she's not the one. I don't know, maybe you're not the one, because I don't know, maybe you want to just keep on using her for like the ego thrill, even without having the S, the sex, but just having this girl around. And so I don't know. It's but that's like a sign that she'll just as easily divorce you later. If she's gonna easily break up with you after you're engaged to her and you just postponed it with good reason.
Yeah.
So.
Because I explained to her why, and she was like, she told me, like, it's because of the situation
and it's not like
that happened.
And it's not like it's wrong to postpone a marriage.
Yeah, I know that it's not wrong, but she thinks I only did that because there was a situation that happened to her, and she's like, it's because of that. I was like, no, I just see that we are not ready, and that's it.
Nice.
Like, yeah, but the whole situation is like,
I would recommend you not hold on to her. Because, maybe she doesn't mean it. A lot of times women will say stuff that they don't mean. Let her come or let her go, but I would take that as a warning sign against marrying her, at least as long as she's like that.
Yeah.
And maybe even ever, honestly.
Okay.
Because that's a sign that's a sign of no respect. That's a sign of and maybe you're not worthy of respect, I don't know, but it's a sign of no respect. She doesn't respect you. She'll dump you again. She'll divorce you, possibly.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
She's giving no indication that she's going to stay.
I don't know. How about the indications which you said?
I mean, because she keeps on talking about breaking up.
Yeah.
So that's basically talking about divorce down the road. If you ever are sucker enough to get married to her, right?
But I don't want to talk her into marrying me.
No,
Like,
you don't want to
if
talk
she
her into
wants-
marrying her. You don't want to talk her into staying. You
Yeah.
don't want to talk her into going, but she's already talked about going. Let her go. If you agree with what I'm saying, if it makes sense to your situation, because you're in the situation, you do what you
Yeah.
want. I don't want you taking my advice.
Influence.
Yeah, just because I'm saying it.
Yeah, because I just needed to talk with a man, because
Yeah.
in my surroundings there are a lot of beta men,
Right.
the ones who divorced like 2-3 times in their life, paying alimonies.
Yeah, exactly.
They are cool, but they're betas. They're
Right.
all like about women. And I'm like, guys, life is not only that.
Yep.
There's much more. Yeah, but I know. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, but I will look and I will see, because as Jesse told me, like, to postpone the marriage second time. And I was just watching it. It just made it clear, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I'm like not rushing with my head. I was just go into this situation, and I just watch while the storm is around me. I'm like, okay.
You have
like,
to you have to love common sense more than her.
Yes, exactly. I mean, like, I do love common sense, because it just works. It just works.
Yep.
Illusions and fantasies is just all made out of sand. It just crumples within seconds, minutes, and life is ruined. Yeah. I mean, like, it's just like this situation. If I would marry, everything would go down the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it is nice talking to you, Hake. Like,
Yeah. Call me again, man.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how it goes. If you're gonna get hooked in and suckered, or if she's gonna go off and you're gonna be free, or if you're gonna be free and she'll come around and repent and apologize. And I don't know if you should trust that. But
yeah,
take care.
Yeah. It's. I mean, like, I just watch, and God just shows.
Nice.
And yeah.
Keep a
because
light touch. It's not that serious. People break
It's
up
not
all
that
the time. People come together all the time. People divorce all the time. And they're miserable, but nobody else cares. And you
Yeah,
shouldn't care
yeah,
either,
exactly.
really, even when you're in that situation.
I'm not caring, but the devil is just like,
You are caring
attachment.
because you're talking about it. You're talking about it
Yeah.
because it matters to you. I think
Yeah,
that's my impression. It matters to you ego-wise, and so you do care about it too much. It's like a god. It's a false god that you got to overcome.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, like, I'm not talking this to anybody.
Right.
Because
no, I know,
there is
but
no
it's on your mind, and it's on your
But
mind, right? Whereas
Yes,
Jesus said, "Take
exactly.
no thought for your life."
Take no what?
No thought for your
take
life.
no
The
thought,
Bible
yeah.
says, the Bible says, I sent this text to a friend. Somebody brought it up in Corinthians somewhere. One of these Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 7:32-34. See if this is true. I would have you without carefulness, meaning without a care in the world, right? He who is unmarried cares for the things that belong to the Lord, how he may please the Lord. But he who is married cares for the things of the world, how he may please his wife. This is all too common, right? There's a difference also between a wife and a virgin, meaning the unmarried woman. The unmarried woman cares for the things of the Lord, that she may be holy in body and spirit. But she who's married cares for the things of the world, how she may please her husband. Right now, you're caring for the things of the world.
Yeah, exactly.
And playing like it's for God, but you know that you know in the back of your mind that you don't need to be concerned about this.
Yeah.
Let it
Yeah,
happen
and
or not happen.
Yeah, and I see that the devil tries to make it for me like matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great call,
But
man.
yeah. Oh, one more thing, last thing, and I just let you do your podcast because I think I talked too much.
Right on.
About the Bible. One time I read one verse, which for me was very, very. I didn't understand it when Jesus said, how was it about the kingdom of heaven? Yeah, and when Jesus said about the kingdom of heaven. And he explained this, I don't remember to who, but he said it's like a kingdom or a castle where the king is preparing a wedding feast for his son. And basically, he tries to invite every chosen person inside,
right?
But no one comes. And then he invites second time. No one comes. He says, darn it. Okay, the food is getting bad. Come, everyone. So everyone came in to the castle and started feasting. But there was one man who wasn't dressed properly.
Yeah.
And he was kicked out. He was first asked, why aren't you dressed properly for the wedding? He didn't answer anything. So, and then he got kicked out. And at one moment, it just hit me about the kingdom of heaven, that it comes easily to you. It's just right there with you. But if you don't follow God, don't have the appropriate dressing for the wedding, you're kicked out. Yeah. And this is like what you said also about the marriage. The same thing, you care more about the world, so you're not gonna have peace.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's a great story. That's a great warning, man. I like that story. I like it, but I don't like it because it's like a good, serious warning.
I mean, like, facts.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I was watching also, like, it just hit me before I postponed the wedding. And I was like, wow. I mean, like, it's so interesting how you read a verse, the verse, and you don't understand it until you ask. I don't know. I asked God. I was like speaking out loudly, like, God, explain this. Show me the truth. I want to know the truth.
Yeah.
I'm seeking it. And a week later, just like, pop, I just saw it. I don't know. I wasn't even thinking about it. It just came. And I was like, wow, amazing.
Nice.
And it is, yeah. I mean, like, you can, like Bible thumpers, they read intellectually the Bible, but as Jesse said, like, they don't see. They know about God, but they don't know God.
True.
This is so interesting. But yeah.
Great call, man.
Thank you.
It's good to hear from you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Take care, DEMETRI.
Yeah, and you too, Hake.
Right.
And I wish you all well. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Take care. So relatable. Am I right? You guys all complaining in the chat. Okay. Let me read a few super chats as we go forward, and I'll get back to your calls and everything. Over on buymeacoffee.com. Look at these pretty girls, by the way. Pretty gals, mildly attractive. This gal is from Finland. There's a female so-called prime minister. The Finnish Prime Minister Sanna Marin or something like that in Helsinki. And this other gal, Kaya Kallis, or however, Kaja Kallis. I don't know how he's just said it. These gals in their 40s and 50s or whatever they are, trying to run the show. How far Finland and then those Northern European countries, right? That's what they are. They feel like they're Northern European. Nordic, I don't know, countries have fallen everywhere. Is going down. Mexico is going down. Meet me at the trail. It's going down. But anyway, Gregatron says, good to hear from your boy, Dr. Detroit, yesterday. Yeah, I agree, Gregatron. I was at work while listening, and I was cracking up. Why you act like you didn't know Chuck from Detroit was Dr. Detroit? Too funny. I kind of knew, but I wasn't positive. It'd been a while, and I didn't really remember the quality, the timbre and tone of his voice, or how old he was, or anything. Dr. Detroit, if you're listening, I had been waiting for him to call back for a while. Call in more. I'm good now. The only thing I need now is Mrs. Parks. Ms. Parks. Remember Ms. Parks? That was a classic one-off call, I feel like. Maybe more than once, but I think she might only have called in once, and it was just an instant classic. Those blacks, very entertaining. They make the show. Thank you, Gregatron. And thank you to Chuck from Detroit, who called in asking me some real questions. Very nice, man. Let me double check over on the Rumble crew, because Commander Kim and others are always sneaking in those super chats. We're fine over there. What's up, D-Live crew? Groovy Monkey, Potleaf. Thanks as always. Hello to the punchy.tv/Hake crew, Nicole, Jim in Alaska. I didn't forget to set my punchy alarm. That's right. Doc Holliday was Val Kilmer's best role. Somebody in the chat was asking to see Val Kilmer. And his lips, by the way. See how fat he got? I mean, he's not that fat, but he got, like, fatter. And that was another reason why I didn't recognize him as Doc Holliday, because he was all skinny. It's like looking at little skinny Hake. Fit Hake versus fat Hake. Not that fat, but sort of. Pretty. Anyway. Yeah, he was in that Top Gun 1986, Tombstone 1993, Top Gun Maverick 2022, and I heard that they added in some voice. Batman Forever. I don't think this was a good movie. The late, yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, it was Riddler and Two-Face, Tommy Lee Jones. I didn't realize that Tommy Lee Jones actually, I felt my imagination had Tommy Lee Jones as like miles above Jim Carrey, but actually Jim Carrey is far more successful and probably even far more respected. And they're both like miserable and in hell, I guess. I'm not sure. People say that Tommy Lee Jones has ill humor and didn't like Jim Carrey. That's just the gossip drama from what I heard from back in the day. He was in Heat, which I heard was a good movie, I guess. Willow. He was in Willow? Oh. I never really saw Willow, but that was a classic. He was Jim Morrison as playing in The Doors, and The Saint. Yeah, so back in the day, he was sort of a pretty boy. I just remember in Batman, him playing Batman, it was better than, I prefer him to that doctor guy with the gray hair and slightly gray hair and stuff. I really liked the short Batman. Yeah, see, you can even tell that that's not Jim Morrison's lips. Keaton? Whatever Keaton. Keaton Batman. What's the guy's name? Michael Keaton. Yeah, even though I didn't like the fact that they put him with curly hair, but his face is right. I get that he's kind of short, but he was like serious, sort of funny. I just kind of like Michael Keaton. But anyway, lips. You guys want to see Val Kilmer's lips? Yeah. See, I noticed it because the one scene that I remember him. Well, you can't really tell. Was that he went to see some woman, and this woman rejected him, saying, "I actually want to be with Bruce Wayne," and so he was about to admit, and then he didn't have to admit, and then he went out and smiled like typical simp. It's terrible. They made Batman all weak for women. Yeah. So anyway, thank you, super chatters and stuff. Let me get to Richard in North Carolina. A lot of you guys have been on hold forever. Appreciate you hanging in there. Richard.
I know. Jeez, Hake. Took forever.
Yeah.
I'm joking. Actually, that was a short wait.
Oh,
Nice.
You
didn't have much money coming in from the super chat.
Yeah.
So, hey, so I know what Val died of.
Okay.
It was pneumonia.
Oh, really? Dang.
Yeah, and he was already compromised by the throat cancer. So
okay.
And it's kind of funny because you say you like Doc Holliday so much. You know Doc Holliday died of pneumonia. So it's kind of ironic that you like the character that he died from the disease that actual Val died from.
Wow.
So
interesting. I appreciate the input on that, man.
So what have you been up to, Hake?
Just hanging out. It's been a little while since I heard
Bible?
from you. Thumping the Bible a little bit, yeah. I have thumped the Bible a little bit. Did you hear me with DEMETRI?
Oh yeah. No, I mean, I haven't heard you physically thump the Bible online. You got to get those leather bound editions so that everyone can hear.
Right. Yeah. True. That's funny.
So anyhow, so what do you think about Trump and the tariffs? Do you think it's a good idea?
Yeah. Because there's a right and wrong way to do tariffs, and I think he's doing the right way because he tends to do things the right way. And even if it doesn't start out quite right, he'll adjust and make it work. And that's how you kind of have to do things. Would, yeah, go ahead.
Would do. I'm not sure bar it, but make gas prices and everything like that be less dependent on the futures of oil prices, because even though oil per barrel for crude has been low, below 70, my prices have been spiking because they've been overreacting to the tariffs.
Oh.
So, the futures.
Yeah.
So
I've heard of futures.
Every time. Yeah. Go on.
I've heard of futures. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah. Well, they base everything on futures for oil.
Yeah.
So anytime your prices spike, they're basing on something that the real price is like $66, but they say, it could go up to 75. So everyone jacks up the price at the pump because they're expecting, that they have to pay more for it when it comes in.
Oh.
So.
Huh.
So, but that leads
to
he's going
to change that. So you would like for him to change that?
Not change it, but have a cap on it.
Oh.
So it doesn't absolutely devastate people who deliver like pet pizzas or some delivery services that don't get reimbursed for mileage.
Well, not to mention just the price of, well, I guess the price of like trucking and all that stuff. Trucking across the country.
Diesel's insane.
It's I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with the idea of a cap, because that sounds. But you may know. Know more than I do.
Well, it's so funny about diesel, because diesel is the easiest part of the oil because it naturally settles to the bottom because it's heavy. But it doesn't take much to refine it. Maybe it's the EPA. It's probably because of the EPA version of diesel, the sulfur-free. Maybe that's what makes the price so more expensive, because your average diesel is not that hard to refine.
Right.
Because if you just set the barrel down of oil, it basically separates on its own.
Okay. Oil separation is natural. I learned that from the peanut butter can or jar.
Oh, you mean how all the oil floats and then everything else, so solids float to the bottom.
Exactly.
Yeah. But anyhow,
man, so,
I've been enjoying this. Huh? Go on.
I said it's good to hear from you.
Yeah, you too. Oh, do you need to go? Do you need
No,
to
no,
let
you've
go?
been enjoying what? You've been enjoying what?
I was saying yesterday I made some phone calls for the Wisconsin Supreme Court for Brad.
Oh, wow.
You know, I did a list of 30 people. Not much because I didn't have much time, but you know, my friends in Wisconsin were telling me that it was going to be a struggle no matter what, because, you know, when it comes to the off-year elections, and especially special elections, Republicans and usually just flop. They don't really, most of them don't care, don't know about it, and there's not enough, you know, messaging.
Yeah.
You know, or it's last minute messaging.
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, I had some positive phone calls. One guy was like, yeah, the dumb liberals, we don't need them. Screw them, you know?
Yeah. It's a shame that
one guy says, huh?
It's a shame that the liberal woman apparently won that election.
God.
And supposedly it's a nonpartisan 10-year election supposedly nonpartisan election, but it was very partisan. And for a 10-year term to the so-called Supreme Court.
Yeah. Well, I think it's 6-2 now, and I forget what way it swings. I'm sure it's Democrat, Republican.
Yeah. No, it's a liberal majority.
Well, yeah, my dad lives in Wisconsin. Of course, he voted. First chance he got. He went in there and voted for the Conservatives. So
okay.
You know, he's from northern Wisconsin. So they're a bunch of hillbillies and rednecks, but I love them because
of course
they love Trump up there. It's the same district. Remember Sean Duffy? You heard of Sean Duffy before, right?
Yeah. I have. Yep.
Yeah, that beta.
Is he the transportation secretary right now?
Yeah, that's my dad's district. That's where he came from. So that's where my dad lives. He lives in Sean Duffy's district.
That's funny.
So yeah, it's beautiful up there, Hank. It's you know it's all wooded and it's natural, and man, I swear you sit and you can do the silent prayer there in about 2 seconds. You get into the silent prayer. It's so quiet up there.
Nice. So-called Judge Susan Crawford will defeat, or has defeated, I guess. I'm not sure when they will have totally decided it, but she's going to defeat Judge Brad Schimmel, I guess is how you pronounced it. I mispronounced it.
Do they have a percentage?
4-3 liberal. No, I don't have a number, but it's a 4-3 liberal majority on the court. I guess it's 7 members on that so-called court.
I like to see how many points he got defeated by. You know, because you know Cory Booker, I'm sure, you know, because he lasted 25 hours, I guess. Talking would probably brag about that, even though Florida, you know, they got the 2 seats in Florida. So when you look at it, it's kind of a wash. You know that you gain 2 and you possibly lose 2. You know, in 2026. Yeah. So you know, and there's still things that Republicans and the like-minded conservatives can do to try to forestall any redistricting. So you know, it's not a sure thing. You know that, but it's more likely to have that leftist in there doing, you know, screwing up, you know, the districts, you know, helping agree that they should be drawn out of districts or constitutionally valid. Yeah. In the Wisconsin Constitution, but at least they got voter ID in the Constitution of Wisconsin. Isn't that interesting? They got that in, but they couldn't get the conservative judge in. Yeah. That is interesting. I think, you know, with the liberals are all amped up because they hate Trump being in there, and that's all they have. That's all they can run on is hate Trump, hate Elon, burn stuff down, kick people, beat people up, and then brag about it like a moron. Yeah, it's terrible. You know, it is, and I'm tired of it. You know, I would love to see the Democrats improve. I wish they would, so we can have a better country. You know that? Yeah. You know, if they, you know, so we can get things passed or common sense, get the nasty illegal criminals out, or just illegals in general. You cross the border, you're illegal. Get out of the country. You didn't do the proper passage. You didn't wait in line and spend like $80,000, $50,000, $60,000 over 10 years. I know. Yeah. You know, it's not fair to anybody. It's evil. No. They're just selfish. Well, my mother had to. Go on. Selfish victims. Yeah, my mom's grandparents had to wait on Ellis Island for almost 2 months and they wouldn't let her have any of her belongings for the first 2 weeks.
Wow.
So that she brought with her, and I mean that's why it makes my mom mad. He made my mom mad that said they can just fly right into the country.
Yeah, exactly.
You know that.
And they're allowed to stay. Enablement of crime. Well, great call, man.
Well,
it's good to hear from you.
At least Trump and Pam and Tom and what is it? Cash Patel, are starting to round them up and starting to get rid of them. You know that.
That is a good thing. I'm happy.
I mean,
and they're going for the criminals
Cash.
And they're going for the criminals hard. And also they're going for
what do you think about Dan?
Liberal activists too, which I'm happy
What do you think
with.
about Dan Bongino being in second to Cash of the FBI?
I don't have a big opinion, but I like the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's a good guy. I mean, he used to be a Secret Service agent under two different presidents.
Under Obama. Yeah, and others.
I think he was a supervising agent under Obama. I think he was one of the lead agents.
That's
so
interesting.
he knows how to manage people. So
nice.
and that kind of in the law enforcement.
Yeah, he seems to have a pretty strong personality, which you got to have if you're gonna force people to do right.
Yeah, the thing I was surprised when Rush passed away that Dan didn't take over his show because they all started together.
Oh, really?
Him and Mark Levin. Yeah, but Bongino. Oh God, who's that? Who's that? Buck Sexton? Not Buck Sexton. The other guy.
I don't know. You're rattling off a bunch of my competitors, and I don't know if I appreciate it.
I'm sorry, but I'm trying to say that. I mean, they all started together, and I'm really surprised that Dan didn't get Rush's spot. That and his radio show because Dan's been doing this for the longest time. You couldn't tell by the way he looks. He looks really young, but I think he's in almost his mid-60s by now.
Okay, huh? I don't know.
Anyhow.
Interesting. Well, thank you, Richard in North Carolina.
Sure.
It's good to hear from you, man.
All right, you take care. Hey, don't be a beta, man, okay? You tell Jesse I said hi and I love him, okay?
Will do. Thank you, man.
All right, take care, guys. Bye.
All right. Bye. Huh. Meade in Richmond, Virginia. Richmond, VA. Meade, thanks for calling.
Oh, hi. Thank you for taking my call, and happy Confederate History Month. April is Confederate History Month.
Oh, I didn't know that. Right on.
Yeah, we celebrate Confederate. And by the way, Val Kilmer is a descendant of a Confederate veteran.
Wow. Based.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Oh, well, so I know we ran a bit late. I want to call about a caller yesterday or the other day got me to thinking. So I know there's a lot of contempt for fat people. And I understand that because being fat is not healthy.
Right.
But I was thinking...
is your name with an E at the end? Meade?
Yeah, it's MEADE.
Okay, thanks.
Yes. Well, okay, so I'm a little bit chunky. I'm trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
But I've always been harassed and bullied for my weight, all through school and all that.
Right.
And what I notice is that we've gone from one extreme to the other, where you got the fat acceptance movement, which is all wrong.
Yep.
But then you have what I call anti-obesity SJWs. And these are people on the right that feel like they're morally superior to anyone who's even slightly overweight. And they have the right to tell you, well, I'm better than you. You're nothing but a, lazy fat person. And I'm going to police you around. And we have to shame you in public for being fat. To me, that reminds me of the so-called anti-racists.
Right.
The so-called anti-racists saying, "Oh, you're a racist and you should be shamed publicly." I hear these people like your caller the other day talking about the Calvin Klein and whatever. But to me, I picked up an attitude from him like he has a contempt for fat people, and I get that. I kind of do myself, but I'm saying that it's turning into like this sort of mentality that you are like a nanny state where we have to, tell fat people how awful they are, and it's your duty to be like the gatekeeper. And it reminds me of the left. It reminds me of how people on the left are. And so instead of encouraging people to lose weight, all you do is complain and say, "Oh, that ugly fat person over there, I'm so much better than they are." Just like the SJW will say, "Oh, well, I'm not a racist. That person's a racist." And And there's this girl, I don't know if you heard of Sydney Watson.
Well, before you move into that, I wanted to defend my prior caller. I didn't get any sense that he had a problem with fat people, that he looked down on fat people. I just got the sense that he was irritated at the notion that fat people are telling fit people to stop being so fit.
Yeah.
And that's what, because I had read an article 2 days ago. Yesterday, I had Alex in California call in, ranting about this. Because 2 days ago, I read this story from Communonsense Network about fitness influencers, fitness bros, who are, some of them they call them grifters. I don't call people grifters. I think that's a grifter word to say grifter, in my opinion, generally. It's like a liberal word, but it's basically trying to blame the decline on men who are trying to take care of themselves physically. And taking care of yourself physically has some value. And
Definitely.
So I think that he was more he was bashing the fat people, basically by saying fat people, the Communonsense Network,
the fat acceptance.
Yeah, exactly. Who are trying to say that there's a problem with guys like my competitor for trying to be healthy later in life and going to the gym.
I totally agree with that. I think I misinterpreted some of that. I was just saying that maybe there's just a certain element, like Elijah Schaefer. I don't know if I can mention his name, but
my competitor, slightly offensive. He used to be fat, and then he got fit, and now I don't know what he is.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying all it takes to get fat, you can have an injury, and you can't exercise, and you can put on weight very easily. And this happened to Steven Crowder, where he thought he could just get rid of the weight because he always criticized, fat people being lazy. But he understood, no, it doesn't necessarily come off easily, and it doesn't mean you're lazy. It's just sometimes it's a struggle. But there was this gal named Sydney Watson. She's she's very mid in my opinion, but she's from Australia, and she wanted to sue an airline because she had to sit next to a fat woman.
Oh, yeah.
And what that reminds me of is like a liberal SJW suing the airline because of racism, or to me, that's not a conservative thing. Like, I get that, I get it. I don't want to sit next to an obese person either, but
especially when they're like crowding into your space. I get that.
But to make it such an issue, to me, it sounds like that police mentality, like you're policing or sort of saying, I'm morally superior and I have a right to, I'm better than you. That's what I hear from the left, is always that they're morally superior. But it's sort of a false thing. I just thought that, I call it anti-obesity SJW because they go the other extreme. And like, I think like when the guy was saying, fat lumberjack, those men aren't fat. They're well built, and they're just not skinny like the Calvin Klein models are very. That's an easy body to get. That anyone can do that, but it takes a certain genetics to be well built and have a good frame. That's why they get criticized and they get called fat when they really aren't fat. They're just really well built. So I think there's sort of a jealousy there. Because anyone can get skinny. So
not anyone. You just admitted it's not that easy for some people sometimes.
No, but I'm saying certain. But it's easier for most people to get that, to just get that sort of that lean look, and they can't be well built.
Yeah,
because that's part of your genetics. But anyway, I just wanted to touch on that and say Happy Confederate History Month, and that's all I wanted to say. I think also I really enjoy your show, and I wonder, have you ever considered doing stand-up comedy?
I have never considered it.
Okay, because you have a natural comedic timing that I think would be pretty funny.
Okay.
So anyway, thanks for taking my call.
Thank you, man. I appreciate your call. I'm glad that you got in and got that off your chest. Appreciate
Thank you.
that.
Bye-bye.
All right, take care. Meade in Richmond, Virginia. Yeah, Confederate History Month. He's pro-Confederate. He's from Richmond, VA. That's where Robert E. Lee was from, right? Something like that, I think. Lowered. There are more Super Chats to get to. Let's see here. Over on Buy Me a Coffee, as well as Rumble. Let's see if I can find the Rumble one. Somebody said something about Val Kilmer up here. There it is. Commander Kim getting in a Rumble rant. Val Kilmer was also great in the movie The Saint. A Gary Oldman before Gary Oldman, whoever that is. I mean, I've heard the name. I would probably recognize the face. Then he got throat cancer and had to end his career. He died voiceless, divorced, and broke. But he was happy. No, I don't know if he was happy. Wow, that's you make it sound so sad, Commander Kim. Actor and filmmaker Gary Oldman. Here he is, sort of fatter and with a nice widow's peak there, long hair, gray hair, sunglasses. There he is, clean shaven, I guess that is. Oh yeah, I recognize this face. There he is, slimmer and with a mustache and yeah, I reckon, is that Commissioner Gordon or something? 67 years old he is. Gary Leonard Oldman, English actor, filmmaker, versatile, intense acting style, Academy Award, Golden Globe, 3 BAFTAs, whatever that is. Can portray historical figures, Winston Churchill in Darkest Hour, Herman J. Mankiewicz in Mank, whatever that is, Ludwig van Beethoven in Immortal Beloved. The Dark Knight he was in. Yeah, I think he was like Commissioner Gordon or somebody. Okay, nice. Yeah, I like that guy. Oh, he was in Bram Stoker's Dracula in 1992. And what did you say? Gary Oldman? A Gary Oldman before Gary Oldman, even though Gary Oldman is older than Val Kilmer. Gary Oldman being a 67, Val Kilmer being dead at 65. What a mess. Nice. Thank you, Commander Kim. Very instructive. I get educated about real history, Val Kilmer history. Nice. Is The Saint a Christian movie? I shouldn't laugh. Okay. We got to keep it moving, though. There was another coffee on buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report. Birdie Bound B said, I'm surprised to hear you quoting Young Jock. That's amazing, says Birdie Bound B with 3 coffees. Thanks, man. That's that one rap song, It's Going Down. Yeah, my friends were coaching / assistant coaching high school cross country after we graduated, after I think we were done with college even. And I was sometimes running with them, running cross country, you know, with the high schoolers and my friends who were coaching them. And they would joke around because we would run on the trail. Meet me on the trail. It's going down. Meet me at the club. It's going down. And I guess that's Young Jock. That sounds familiar. Is it spelled with a CK, Jock? I don't know, but nice. Thank you, Birdie Bound B. Sweet. Salute. See, Hake is worldly. Hake is worldly too. Nice. Man, oh man. Hang on, callers. We have stuff to get to. That was nice. Isn't this nice? Not Val Kilmer. Somebody lived. Val Kilmer died, but a man lived. He was rescued more than 100 hours. More than 100 hours after that earthquake, they rescued a survivor out of that's the capital of Myanmar. whatever. We looked it up the other day. Myanmar. Buildings in Myanmar continue to collapse days after the deadly quake. You can see the hint of it. It's probably going to stop me. Wow. You can see that building all sideways, all like tilted. Worse than the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Or Pisa. And they rescued a guy. 100 hours, that is 24, 48, 72, 96, and change. More than 4 days and 4 hours later, they get a guy out of the rubble, and the people clap. He survived. Myanmar, or Myanmar, had that military junta, and they asked for it. They're like, help! So it's a big mess over there. But that's pretty good. A miraculous rescue, they call it, that offered a rare moment of hope. The capital is called Naypyidaw, Naypyidaw. So they rescued a man. Very nice. Isn't nice news kind of nice to hear? A little bit. This liberal female judge won in the Supreme Court. You heard about that from Richard in North Carolina, calling people over in Wisconsin election meddling. Liberation Day. It's Liberation Day. Very nice. Israel's making moves in Gaza. Very rough for the Palestinians over there right now. And can't be that nice for those soldiers in Israel who are having to make those moves. So we pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Federal layoffs, that's nice. These greedy liberal states want public health funding to continue. Psh, I shake my head. I shake my head. I had shown you during, what's his name, MEADE from Richmond, Virginia's call, Mexico is banning, under this female president, by the way, I don't know if she's the one behind it, but this female president is stopping the junk food in the schools. No more sweet and salty snacks for your fat kids. What if your kid's not fat, he's fit, and he wants those snacks? You can't have them. Sugary fruit drinks, packaged chips, artificial pork rinds, also known as chicharrones, something like that, right? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Soy-encased chili-flavored peanuts. Oh, those are so good. You're making my mouth water. The ban is law. Education Ministry posted on X. Farewell junk food. Did they say it in English or Spanish? Encourage parents. Now, when I was a kid, we didn't really get junk food. Only when, like, eventually they started making a little bit more money. And then we got a little bit of, like, sugar cereal. And they started coming out with fruit snacks, Nutri-Grain bars. That was as junk food as it got for us. Sometimes we'd have chips. They want parents to support the government's crusade by cooking healthy meals for their kids. Well, Mexican cooking is just going to make you fat. Shout out. But if you don't cook, you just eat fresh fruit and veggies and stuff, then that helps, and then you don't need as much of that heavy food, heavy and fat and sugary food, and you're satiated. And get a little exercise. Make America healthy again. We have the Make America Healthy Again, but it doesn't feel as mama this time around, that I can tell. Although RFK Jr., he may be a bit of a mama. He was a male Democrat for a long time. But all the Kennedys are. They're Irish, you know? Aren't they Irish? Shout out. Schools must phase out any food or beverage. We weren't even allowed to drink soda in my house as a kid. The only time we got to drink soda or Gatorade was at grandma's house after church on Sundays. So I never really got into the habit of drinking soda much at all. People get fat on sugar. Much better to eat a bean taco than a bag of potato chips, said the Mexican president Claudia Sheinbaum, who has championed the effort, a woman. Mexico's children consume more junk food than anywhere else in Latin America, per UNICEF. Oh, Lord, the UN? Isn't the UNICEF UN? 1/3 of Mexican children are already considered overweight or obese. Yeah, a lot of fat Mexican kids come up here. Crazy. Evil. And they got rid of recess. You know, part of the reason I feel like the adults and high schoolers and junior high, you still get to play recess. You still get to play basketball. You still get to play, like, we called it handball. Maybe even football. Go out and play mid-morning, and then go out and play right after lunch. You can't wait to finish your lunch so you can go out and play. But we didn't have that in high school. You only got PE, if that, and then running after school. It's not right. It doesn't seem right. Of course, you start getting sweatier and smellier. Come around like the high school days. Hairier maybe and smellier. Terrible. So, whatever, Mexico, you don't know anything. Am I right? I think I'm right. That's the news. What else is there going on over here? Oh, yeah, the U.S. stealth bombers are, there's like 30% of the force, of the stealth bombing force, is over there dealing with the Houthis. The Houthis are a problem, apparently. Pirates, basically. Harassers. Harassment. And this is amusing to me, a little bit amusing to me. There's this woman who felt a connection with the brown eyes. I looked into his very intelligent brown eyes, and I felt a really deep connection. So said conservationist Gladys, hyphenated last name, Kalema-Zikusoka, on the first time she saw a mountain gorilla deep in the jungle of Uganda's Bwindi, B-W-I-N-D-I, impenetrable, nice name, I like that name, impenetrable, National Park. She's a conservationist. Oh, look. Is this a GIF? It looks like it's a GIF, a GIF. I pronounce it GIF. Yeah, it's a GIF. Cool, CNN, comment on... Look, oh, I feel a connection too. Dang. Aren't apes so cool? Why would you be insulted at being, called that by a racist? Meet the conservationist. You know who's a conservationist? Is that liberal musician, anti-drugs, living long, still kicking. I call him a liberal, but he's somewhat of a conservative. Friend of JLP, sort of. Friend of others. Friend of America, Ted Nugent. He's a conservationist too. But this woman might be a liberal because she feels a strong connection with, I don't know if they have a picture of her. Oh, yeah, it's a black gal. Dr. Gladys Kalema-Zikusoka. You know that's an African name, right? That's full-blown African, but Africa is polluted with feminism, apparently, because it's hyphenated. Africans never hyphenated their names, did they? Look how cute. I can understand that. That's a pretty nice quality GIF, CNN. A GIF is a moving image. Look at that thing. A violent history for millennia. Mountain gorillas roamed across the forests of Uganda, Rwanda, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Not to be confused with the other Congo. There's another Congo. In the last 100 years, rampant deforestation, poachers, and conflicts on the brink, have them on the brink of extinction. Terrible. She was just 2 years old at the time of some military coup, and blah, 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 blah. Oh, she is holding a little, I don't know what. Is that a rabbit or a lamb? Little lamb? Oh, she's a baby there. Yeah, that's Commie Nonsense Network for you. Cute little animals. You feel a connection. Let me get back to, I want to get back to the rest of the calls and any supers that come in because we have Joel Friday TV coming up soon. Jaime in Minnesota. Whoa! Jaime, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Hey.
How you doing?
Doing well. How about you?
Pretty good. Hey, I wanted to talk to you about these T levels.
Testosterone.
Testosterone. Yeah, so back in the 1900s, American men had about 800 to 1,000 nanograms per deciliter. That's a good amount. And that just flows through your bloodstream over and over all day. And your cells, they need that to repair, your muscles need it to rebuild and all that kind of stuff. Well, let me tell you something. Today, the average man in America has 400 nanoliters per deciliter.
What was it? What was it back in the day? 400 today
1,000.
versus 1,000 back in the day. Is that true?
Yeah, look it up. No, you don't need to look it up. Just take my word for it.
Okay,
Look,
we'll take your word for it for the time being.
This is the problem. Okay, now the food that
No,
we
this
get
is
from
a
the ground-
symptom. This is not the problem. Oh, you're going to tell me what the problem is? Go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted.
Right, so the food that we get that comes from the ground, your apples and your oranges and your bananas, and they don't have the same amount or the same amount of micronutrients that they used to. It's been depleted.
Ooh.
Zinc, iron, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You're not getting as much as like your great grandpa. He got the full force of it, and he didn't need micronutrient supplements.
My great grandpa didn't have cheap food is readily available to get fat on, and sweet and very tasty food to get fat on is readily available and cheap as we have. We can afford so much now. You know what I mean? Is that part of it? And we have computers to do all our work too.
Well, also the microplastics they damage your endocrine system. That's where
Hormone thing.
your hormones go through.
Okay.
So
You think that's a bigger deal? You think the microplastics are a bigger deal than our sedentary lifestyle and overeating of junk food lifestyle?
Well, over in Turkey these days, right now,
Yeah.
they don't have microplastics like we do.
Oh.
It's a way huge different number.
But in Turkey, they have to work hard over there, right?
That's right, or they die.
Yeah, so I feel like the work, the physical exercise / labor and,
they have a
generally healthier lifestyle, more healthful food and exercise lifestyle, and maybe even sleeping.
Today they have 1,000 nanograms per deciliter of testosterone free-flowing in their bodies.
Oh,
Way
really?
different
Turkey
than
has
the
1,000.
American. Yeah, today.
Nice.
And so it's not that if you sleep and do all that, Hake, because you probably got 400 to 500 T levels, okay?
Whatever, man.
If you sleep and exercise and eat healthy and all that, you're not going to touch 1,000.
You don't know
Never.
me.
No, I do. I know you because I know myself.
Wow. Shots fired.
So-
no, I accept.
So anyways, the whole point of the supplements is to refuel the body.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get it from the food. You're not going to get it from more sleep. You're not going to get it from more exercise. You need the building blocks. You need the the tools. It's like, you know that Prius you have? So if you try to use that Prius to like an F-350 Super Duty,
Yeah.
it's not going to work. You're going to blow the engine. You're going to burn out the battery.
You
Okay,
don't
do not do
underestimate
that.
my Prius.
Now, the Prius is fine for light work and office stuff and all that kind of stuff.
Light
But
work,
if
baby.
you go out, and you try to do the job of an F-350, you're going to burn it out. You're going to damage yourself. You're going to hurt yourself. And that's what a lot of American men now today, the average American men,
Yeah.
is a Prius. They are a Prius because they're
Priuses are
micronutrients.
fast. They're pretty powerful.
That guy's right. You should be in comedy.
Dang.
So anyways, your grandpa, my great-grandpa, they
Yeah.
were F-350s with the V8 Goliath engine,
Yeah.
8.3 liter, all right?
Right.
Me, you, we're Prius, man. It's because of our micronutrients. We're not going to get it from food. We're not going to get it from exercise or sleep. We need the supplements.
Yeah.
There's no other way.
And you're the one who's getting fit again, right? You were fat
Yeah.
a little bit, and you're getting fit.
And like I said, I know myself because I used to do it, the exercise, sleep, and all that. And when I was really young, it worked for a period of time.
Yeah.
But then I burnt out because I wasn't taking care of the micronutrients. I was
Okay.
getting depleted. And so, like the fat people today, they're highly deficient. Highly, highly, highly deficient.
Yeah.
And there's no amount of exercise, no amount of kale or salad that you're going to feed those people
Yeah.
to get them right again.
Kale
You
can
need-
mess you up if you go overboard with it. I've heard people in my
Yeah.
YouTube comments and other people have said, don't go overboard with that stuff. I think you can have a little. Some people can, at least. Anyway, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, these people that are highly deficient,
Yeah.
the very obese, they need like 40, 50 pills a day for like a year.
Well, I
get
disavow
back to-
taking pills unless.
Well, they're supplements.
Oof.
They're not like ibuprofen.
But like
They're supplements.
my prior caller, I had a caller, Ardeen from Colorado, who warned about, mixing supplements with other. A lot of people are taking prescriptions now, like for whatever reason. You got to be
Oh yeah, the
Cons-
research. You got to use Grok or ChatGPT.
and maybe
That's
even
a great research tool.
yeah, and then even they can be wrong, of course, because they're liberals and they misunderstand things and they don't know what time it is, and so.
This is highly science research stuff.
Right.
That's what AI is good at, is stuff that's already been researched.
Yeah, but there's all kinds of mistakes that you can do, and you may not even know what to ask, and they may not include information that may be pertinent, and so maybe even talk to a doctor and stuff like
One of
that.
those doctors with some bogus speech degrees.
Yeah, sometimes they
Not
may
smart
know.
doctors.
Right. Because a
Uh.
doctor can talk with you and see you, and then he has a little bit more of a conscience than Grok even, perhaps.
And then they can
Grok doesn't love
take-
you.
They can take our tax money and then go buy their yachts.
Hopefully.
What you want is somebody with no soul to tell you,
Yeah.
not to love you. You
Right.
don't want somebody to love you and tell you they're going to screw it up. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, I did it the way that you said, but I burnt out. And now I see I did it all wrong.
Okay.
I did my research. I know I can gamble on my own
Are you
body.
going to be on
You're right.
Sups?
Other
Are you going to be
people
on Sups for life, or are you just temporary to get yourself square, and then you can be on a proper normal diet, exercise, and
Well, I'd
your
like to be
daily
on-
dose of microplastics?
I'd like to be on supplements my whole life. I heard that you could get to the centennial age that way.
Okay.
Like,
I knew
Val Kilmer?
I saw an old guy go vegan in his later days, and that's how he was kicking. but
Val
whatever.
Kilmer,
Yeah, Val Kilmer.
when he was Batman,
Yes.
young, beautiful, great skin, great hair, everything. He was on top of the world, but his body burnt out. He wasn't dosing right. You know, he didn't know, and that's okay. He didn't know.
Yeah,
But
rest
that's why
in
he
peace.
went at 65, man. That's why you see so many men dying so early. 70, that's way too young. You got to be over 100.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with living to over 100.
But I agree with you. There's a lot of researching. Some chuckleheads shouldn't do it on their own. They gotta. I mean, I'm 37, 30, and and,
Doxed.
I know how to use research tools to get
Yeah,
quality information.
right.
You know.
Nice, man. Well, thank you for the input. Jaime in
Yeah, you
Minnesota.
Oh, also frankincense and myrrh.
Yep.
They have molecules in them that get into your bloodstream, so that they have medical benefits, therapeutic benefits for your endocrine system and your T levels, your hormones, and cellular regeneration. So imagine a man, Jesus, using that every day for his whole life.
Oh, okay.
He had cells that were running like the angels, you know.
But he didn't end
He was a
up
healthy
needing
guy.
them because I heard that he died at the tender age of 33 on purpose.
Yeah,
He let it happen.
blunt force trauma.
Was it blunt force?
It was blunt force trauma to the hands, to the knees, to the face, everything. That's how the only way you can
I
kill a
thought
guy
he
like
like
that.
suffocated. I thought that crucifixion we basically suffocate because you can't prop yourself up to breathe because you have to like push up in order to breathe and then let yourself down and like hold your breath. So I thought you
And
suffocated
all
on the
that,
cross, but I don't know.
The spikenard that Mary Magdalene rubbed on him,
Mhm.
that was spikenard, and that's very expensive. Like even today,
Yeah.
$10,000 for a pint. It's something like that. But anyways, what that does to your body when it soaks into your bloodstream is it calms you down way, way low. It's got sedative abilities
Oh man.
without an actual sedative.
I don't know. I don't know what you're telling me.
And so this guy, Jesus, getting whooped like he was, it didn't hurt him like it would if he wasn't on something.
You're way too deep into this medical science stuff with the Bible, man.
Well, it's all, if you got critical thinking skills and you can think.
No,
You know,
I disavow that.
If you look around, how do things affect us today? You apply that to the past, you can come up to some solid conclusions, right?
This doesn't
Like,
sound solid to me.
Like, all the nukes they shot off, they tested
But I
up
don't
in
want to
the air.
argue with you. I got to run.
Okay, thanks, Hake. Thanks for letting me get that out.
Thank you.
Off my chest.
Appreciate it. Take care.
I appreciate it, buddy. Bye.
Bye. I got to get to Rick in Hampton, VA. Rick, out of Hampton, Virginia. What's up, man? Uh-oh.
What's up, James? What's going on with you?
Hey, just hanging out, getting ready to close out my show for Joel Friday
Man,
TV.
thank you for taking my call, man. Quick question, man. You know, President Trump and Elon, they trying to, cut waste and stuff, but everybody is freaking out. I mean, you got to start somewhere because for years, every time a government shutdown come down, what they do, raise the debt ceiling and borrow more money.
I know.
And it never gets solved. So when another government shutdown threatens, what they do, raise the debt ceiling and keep on borrowing money.
Yeah.
You got to solve it somewhere.
Yeah, and so that's what I really agree with Elon Musk and Trump about is to cut the spending because it's ridiculous. It's unrealistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
And
tell you
it's
what, a
dumb
lot
stuff
of-
that
a
they're
lot-
spending on anyway. Evil stuff. So go ahead. Sorry.
And I tell you,
Stay close to your phone.
okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree. And I tell you what, a lot of waste is there too, James. And government contracts. That's what a lot of waste is there too.
Oh, yeah, I could believe that.
It's just like, James, I can go buy a hammer out of Lowe's or Home Depot. The best hammer they make, maybe for $50. That same hammer will cost the government about $300. I don't know why people triple the price of when they're dealing with the government. I don't know why. Why don't they sell it just like they would anyone else?
Yeah. It's because it's because the government pays anyways. It's ridiculous, man. It's a big old scam. And shout out to government contractors.
Right.
But you're right. They take advantage. They get fleeced. They force you. The government has to pay union wages and stuff. It's a mess.
Yeah. Yeah, and they do. That's why so many people like government contracts, because it's guaranteed money.
Yeah, what a scam. And
you know
they're not
what?
even good people.
And guess what, too, there, Brother James? That means it's guaranteed high taxes for us.
That's right. It does. High taxes to keep homelessness going.
Yeah.
What a
absolutely. And
so ridiculous. Makes me want to cuss.
I be telling people, just have a wait to see attitude and see where it go. Everybody says, "Man, costing jobs." Well, I always say, have a skill that you can go, even when you go in the military, get a skill that's marketable.
Okay.
Find a way to serve your neighbor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, don't get into so many people are going to college, getting into occupations. You $200,000 in a hole with student loans, and you got a $40,000 a year job.
I know. You're never gonna pay that off, and it's something that's worthless.
Look, and you know what, James, and you don't even have a home.
Right.
Don't even have a home, and you got all these student loans, and you just probably making a minimum payment.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
Man, Rick,
yes,
I'm getting distracted because I got to close up shop here. And
man, I'm sorry, man.
No, you're fine.
I appreciate you taking my call there, Brother James, man. But I had to get that one in there, man, because everybody's hollering and screaming. Oh, it costing jobs. Oh, all that stuff. I said, I'm going to have a wait to see attitude and see how it play out.
That's a good way to do it, man. It's fun hearing from you, Rick. The people
too,
love
James,
you,
man.
By the way.
Hey, love you too there, Brother James, man. Love all my brothers. The Nick Show, the Joel Friday Show, JLP Show, man. Hopefully, man, we all can get a 24-hour station, man.
That would be cool. It's a nice idea.
Absolutely. Yeah, it will, man. Put the truth out there, man. Because, man, before you go, James, who won that special election in Wisconsin?
The liberal woman won.
Oh, I can guess this too. I bet it was in a largely black populated area.
Yep. Oh no, I don't know. That one I said I said yep, but I don't know because it's the whole Supreme Court, the whole statewide they won. So I couldn't tell you. I don't know what the makeup is. I don't know anything about the population demographics.
Most likely, I could be wrong. It was in a Democratic area where blacks are at mostly.
Yeah.
And they're voting for these people, man. Then they haven't already be complaining about the policies.
So true. It's terrible.
Well, yeah, so that's why I'm a firm believer. When they suffer, I say suffer.
Yeah, that's true. The people are suckers enough to vote for it, or somehow they got that election in. Too bad.
Yep.
So sad.
Yeah. Let them pay the high taxes. Y'all know these people are standing for. They are anti-God, anti-family.
That's right.
I mean, anti-country and everything, and y'all still vote for these people, and then...
I got to run, Rick.
I mean, okay, I'm sorry, Dr. J. Hey, love you, man. I'll talk to you tomorrow, man.
Sounds good. Take care.
Yes, sir.
Bye. Nice.
Anytime
Bye, guys. I got to get out of here. Fat folks always have feelings, says Birdie Bound B. I agree, man. Bye, guys. Take care. Bye.